Hey guys, welcome to another Patreon exclusive episode of The Litter Box. With me this week is... Man, there's a lot of fucking cats in this box. But Dave from Dave Station VR, all the way from Orlando, Florida.
How's it going, guys?
I'm going to use the microphone.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
How's it going, guys?
We also have AJ/Godkin, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia.
Southern boys in the building.
Still nothing to say when I introduce you?
No.
You're not even in person?
What I told you one thing. There's the hardest question you can ever ask me.
Yep.
Is like, how are you? Or
It's
just something so generic.
I don't know what it is, man. That's the same
Ask
problem Jeremy and Michelle always had, too. I was like, have something interesting to say when I introduce you. They were like, oh, we're good. I was like,
Yeah.
no, you're not.
But I feel like this time you might have something positive to say if he asked you that, right?
Man, I cannot say enough about this experience so far, and just everything we've gotten to do. You know, of course, we did the Gamecat Meetup, and
Yeah.
I would have to say it was a huge success.
Yeah.
We started off with, the convention center that we went to, where Des hosted.
Oh, so on Friday night,
Right.
you know, let's start from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So, first of all, we had a Gamecat meetup October 19th,
Yeah.
but it started October 18th. We had a little
Yes.
pre-show.
And
And,
even before that, right? The day started, and I get up and I drive to Logan Airport to pick this guy up.
Oh, that was
from,
fun, wasn't
from
it?
Logan, and then and we're racing back, but we're racing back in traffic, and we're slowly realizing that we're going to be the last people at this party, right?
Yep.
And so and so I get to meet AJ and get to talk to him for hours during this drive. But while that was happening, Dave had flown into Worcester.
Yeah.
And then Ubered over to the hotel. And so, like, we're in constant contact with him. And by the time AJ and I even got to the hotel, Dave had already taken off with Jeremy to the party. So, like, I still, after this whole day of everyone traveling, I still hadn't met you.
Yeah.
And, and so showing up at this party that Des was hosting at the fencing club, it was supposed to be like, you know, just for a quick mod meetup for all
It's
the
kind
people
of a pizza party.
for all the people who had like really, you know, done a lot for the channel in terms of like being moderators on the channel and on the Discord.
Right.
And we just want to say a quick little thank you to those guys. And so Des was like, oh, let's throw a little party, right? And so AJ and I are walking up the stairs to this party, and we're hearing a lot of people, and we
Yeah.
both suddenly get really nervous.
It was bumping. It was,
Before, even just on the flight up here, I talked to the person next to me on a flight, and there was a girl next to me, and she started the conversation, obviously, because that would never be me.
I don't talk to people. My name is AJ.
I'm not, no, but she was like, "Are you from Massachusetts, or are you visiting home or visiting friends?" And I was like, I'm about to meet a bunch of people that I've never met in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's funny is these are also, you guys and all the Game Cats are probably the most important people in my life right now.
Oh, AJ.
For real.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it wasn't like, so there was like this initial shock factor, right? When we walk in and we're like looking, oh my god, it's like, who are all of you people?
So
Yeah, and then the first thing that was crazy to me was people introduced themselves by their tags or their usernames, and I was like, I'm sorry, I know who you are now, but I can't refer to you by that. So please tell me like a name that I can call you.
Yeah.
So that was like an initial strange thing, but everyone was so cool up there.
So cool.
And even if those had been all the people who showed up, I would have been amazed. But
That happened
not
even
nearly.
more.
Yeah.
The most mind-blowing thing happened where I walk in and I see a couple familiar faces. I've seen what Nick looks like.
Yeah.
I've seen,
Rhodey.
Dez, Rhodey, of course, I got to meet before. But there's somebody sitting there waiting for me, and they're not saying a single thing. They're just going like this. And I was like, hey, and like I want to be like, who are you? Or like, hey, I'm AJ. And they just sit there, and I fist bump him, and he goes, "Guy son."
Oh my god, it was perfect.
And I was like, like mind blown. And another real quick thing, when I first walked in, there was this amazing thing. I mean, there was people sitting around eating chips, talking, just sitting around, just hanging out. And then you've got like 3 people in the background with Oculus Quest
Yeah.
just going like this, like not able to see anything and moving around. And man, I mean, that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
I mean, how can we throw a party without there being VR headsets around?
Yeah. Had to be VR
And we had our
headsets.
PSVR there too.
Yep.
I
course.
brought my Switch that nobody used, but that's fine. We do VR stuff,
Yeah.
so that's cool. AJ tore Beat Saber a new one as always. Everybody was like pulling their phones out and like,
That was so
cheering and
weird.
stuff.
Everyone's like, AJ, I gotta see AJ play Beat Saber in person.
Yeah, I
was
said
like,
that too.
We all knew how good you were at Beat Saber. I was shocked to see like Delirium Drew
killing it.
Oh, yeah.
right with disappearing arrow. No, with
Ghost
Ghost
Notes.
Notes.
Yeah,
He was trying to
Ghost
one up
Notes.
you. I think he was trying to one up you.
Oh man, I've always talked about. There's a
he did. But
there's a group of competitive cats for sure, and
Yeah.
he's definitely one of them. I mean, he loves Beat Saber, and he's just always playing.
how about my dance moves though? I'm not good.
You
But I try
definitely
to
had
insert some style. You
So
think I look like a moron?
While
You're gonna
you
tell me
were
I look like
playing,
a
I was
moron?
like, it's time to watch people play Beat Saber
Yeah.
because it was sort of set up so like you could either like sit around a table and have a conversation
Right.
or move but the back of the TV was facing those people.
That's true, yeah.
And so to watch people play Beat Saber, we actually had to move chairs to the other side. And at a certain point, I was like, oh, Dave's playing Beat Saber. I'm gonna finally move my chair and like go watch people play Beat Saber. And I put my chair directly behind you. And I realized I'm just watching you dance instead of actually play the game. And so I was like, I have to move my chair slightly to the left to see both things.
Yeah. Well, so I have I loved DDR back in the day. And my thing was like, I'm not great at it, but I want to put a little style on it. I'm do a slide here, like twist around, turn around.
Yeah.
And so I try to do that with Beat Saber, but I feel like I probably look pretty stupid,
You
to be
looked
honest.
like
You
you were
have great
having
moves.
fun.
You have
Thank
great
you.
moves.
And
Absolutely.
That's
always
what
the
matters.
important
That's
part.
what matters.
I mean, and you were passing too, so you were passing and you were dancing.
well,
That's
I'd like to believe I can pass stages, although I was playing on expert, so
right.
So that was night one. A lot of pizza, a lot of food. Thank you so much, Desra and Amanda,
Yes.
for putting it all together. Not only did they Des get the fencing place for us to use,
Right.
but
Yeah.
Amanda baked a ton of stuff.
yeah, and she had these
was
little
really
like
good.
signs next to everything
Right.
stating what they
Little
were.
table tents.
And like people had certain like Jeremy's is gluten free, and so she had a specific thing that says not for Jeremy.
Nice.
And like she thought ahead. It was very thoughtful.
Very nice.
And tons of pizza. And Des taught us all about the fencing foils.
Yeah,
There's a lot of technology in those things. I didn't realize.
We
That's kinda
stayed out
crazy.
pretty late, and I was like ready to go and start wrapping up. And like as I'm like winding down and getting ready to go, Des brings out three.
Yeah.
three
Yeah.
like they're not called swords.
Foils. They're called foils. Yeah.
Foils. And he brings them out and he starts teaching me like all these things, and it being something that I don't know of, I want to learn about it. I want to know, so I learned like the epee, and like the different styles of everything. And I never knew that when you do the fencing thing, when you poke somebody, that it's actually electric,
Yeah.
and it
Well,
goes
not
up to
all,
a scoreboard.
not all, but he's got fancy stuff over there.
Right, right. They got some like legit stuff. So it was just cool to see like the different grips and stuff, and it was definitely interesting. I got hit by him a couple times. I was like, just
I
go
got
ahead,
hit by him a couple times.
Yeah, he gave me like this protective armor thing, and I was like, just hit the crap out of me, and yeah, it felt cool.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we were supposed to leave like an hour and a half before we actually did, and it was like, are we even gonna leave? Like, I was like, people want to stick around. It's a lot of fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, and if you want to see any bit of the fencing club or the people who attended that, then make sure you tune into this week. What day is
Viewer
today?
takeover.
One of these days.
Oh my God, it's Sunday. Oh my God.
Just watch every viewer takeover, and eventually you'll see it.
Should be watching
So,
anyways.
Yeah, definitely an upcoming viewer takeover introduction. It's going to be awesome. But then we followed that up with the actual meetup, the actual 2019 Gamecat meetup. The first time we ever did it was at Six Flags New England, and holy crap, man! I knew it wasn't going to be the most organized thing in the world, and I was okay with that. I was like,
Yeah,
dude, we're just going to have fun, and like we're probably going to split off into groups here and there. We're going to get separated. We're going to get back together. But man, it was pretty much since the second we walked into the park till the very end.
Yeah.
Like just non-stop getting separated from different people, and for various reasons. Some people had to go to the bathroom, and then it's like, oh, don't wait for me, I'll catch up with you. Or some people weren't going on rides, and so they were holding back, and some
Yeah.
people had to go back to their car at a certain point, and so there was every single possible reason you could think of. We were getting kind of split off and divided.
It was really easy to happen. It's not like
constantly.
we were trying to stick together.
Yeah.
But it was still cool because I still felt like everybody kind of was touching base and knew where they were.
Well, and we each had our own little pockets, so like you were never wandering by yourself. Like,
you
where
were
is
never
everyone?
alone. You were
But
never
it was
alone.
it was
that's
more
for
of a
sure.
like, hey, didn't those guys get in line for a ride like an hour and a half ago? Let's text them, see what's going on, and then we'd
We're
be like,
still in the line.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, meet up at this place. And Six Flags is one of the most confusing
Oh yeah.
places to navigate. Like, I had a map, but I'm colorblind, and it had like 1 through 15 in like one of 6 colors. And there's all these dots everywhere, and I'm just like, I don't know what this means. This is insane.
This isn't Manhattan. It's not laid out in a grid. It's
Yeah.
just like chaotic roads
It's like,
intersecting with
was
each
that
other.
through Looney Tunes, or was that over by the, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, I mean, like, talk about the number of people that. So here's the thing, like,
Bonkers.
when we first showed up, I'm gonna list every single person that we had in a second, but it was so weird because when we first showed up, we were getting text messages for the entire ride. Des is like running later than usual. Like, certain people are here, certain people are there. Michelle's on her way. Like, oh my gosh, Michelle's gonna be here. And then when I first got there, I guess I think I was shocked because we ran into Dylan Gladstone and his wife.
Right.
And I talked to them forever, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Because like Dylan and I had planned on getting coffee at one point,
Yeah.
and we were like, "Oh," but it never happened because our schedules are so crazy. But like, we both have a musical background, both love VR and all this stuff, and so we were like, "Oh, we're just gonna get some coffee and hang out." It never happened, and I feel like that date got pushed into the Gamecat meetup.
Oh,
and
for
we
sure.
get to hang out
Yeah.
and talk forever.
and he wore a fancy hat, as he should,
Did.
because he loves wearing fancy hats.
Yes.
And also his Chuck Taylors were amazing
Oh, I
because
didn't
they were
even notice
custom
I didn't see
made
them.
on the Converse site, and even had like Halloween stitched into it, very Halloween themed.
Styling. He was styling, is what I'm going to say.
And then I was really sad because I don't get to see Michelle very much these days, and I only get to see her for about a half an hour because she had to go back to work.
Yeah.
I did get her good though. When
Yeah?
she, I went to the
yeah, I
restroom
saw
real
this.
quick.
He got her
I
good,
came back.
wasn't
You
he?
guys were at the gazebo, and I came back to it. And I when I was walking back, I saw Michelle there talking to Brian, and so like I walked right up behind her, and I was like, "The one and only."
From the classic viewer takeover introduction,
that you should
Yeah.
never watch.
which we're probably going to air directly after this.
As soon as we got to the hotel room last night, I was like, AJ, you play me that video right
know.
now. I'm watching that thing.
So let's run through everybody that showed up.
Yeah.
We had Rypop and Laura. We had Nick Mulo, and Amy.
Should I be counting on my fingers?
No counting
Okay,
required.
okay.
We had Rhodey, Joe Monahan, and Tori. We had Hack, the Gamecat, aka Hack BMX, Kenny. We had Guy Son. To you. We also had Aceville and his friend / driver / very mysterious person.
No, he was not. I talked
was
to him forever. He
mysterious.
was not. He was such a nice guy.
Really, really
and
nice
they
guy.
drove
Super
down
nice.
from Brooklyn,
Yeah.
and his
Yeah.
friend who drove him rented a car, and has never seen the show. Doesn't play games. And he was just nice enough to be like, yeah, my friend's into this, let's go down. And he was just as cool as everybody else, even though he doesn't care about our channel or anything.
How big of a friend do you have to be to somebody
Yeah.
to do that?
Well,
Speaking of
it
how
was
big of a friend, they
interesting.
were very tall.
They were
Very
so
tall.
tall.
Like, you could see them above everybody. And I thought you guys were tall when I met you, because I've only seen these guys through a camera, a webcam.
We're a little smaller.
And so when I saw them in real life, I was like, oh, I didn't think you'd be that much taller than me. Shit.
Yeah, Dave told me how short he was, but still, when you meet somebody
Yeah.
in person, I was like, oh, you are.
so
You're like
interesting
pocket
enough
size.
too.
I'm like normal
Rye
size.
is
Come on.
from Canada.
Jeremy's pocket size. You're normal size.
Okay.
All right.
Rye was from. Can you bring that back?
Yeah,
up
yeah,
real quick?
absolutely.
So we had this was one of the most
Face
amazing
ID.
things.
Yeah.
Rye, Pop, and Laura were from Canada.
Right.
Nick and Amy were from Texas. Rhodey was from Colorado, and Tori. Hack BMX was from. He was from.
He's so
Ooh,
confident
don't
about
Chicago.
this.
I was going to say, don't start listing if you
Um,
can. Say everybody.
Yeah, Gyson was from
LA.
California, which I
California.
think is the award for the farthest.
think the farthest.
That's like
Aceville
the opposite
and,
side of
and
the
his
book.
friend were from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So keep going. Make sure you list off where they're from because that's
Absolutely.
just crazy.
Because
Des-
AJ doesn't know the rest.
Desra was there. He's from here.
Yes.
Amanda belongs to Des, also from here. Michelle lives further out west in the country, so she didn't have a short drive. But Haplo, man,
He's kind of a local, right?
he said Connecticut, I think.
Connecticut.
Okay.
Okay.
I really apologize, man. There's so many people, but
I couldn't
think
even
Haplo
remember
was the last
everybody's
person I met.
names. Like,
Right?
even just the names was hard for me.
I think
but-
Haplo was the last person to join us throughout
Yeah.
the course of the day, and by that point, I had run out of space in my brain to keep track of
Right,
everybody.
right.
Yeah.
And I was like, but he and I ended up spending a ton of time together, which was awesome.
Right.
Maybe
He was from Connecticut.
Haplo
Or
was.
no, I'm sorry.
Dylan. and
Dylan
his
was
wife.
from Pennsylvania, I think, is what he said, or Connecticut.
I want to say more Connecticut.
Okay.
I could be
Okay.
wrong. Because I feel like he was more local. That's why we had the coffee thing in
I'm
mind.
just waiting for you guys to guess where Killa's from.
Then we have
know.
then we have
You know
Delirium
it.
Drew.
Yes,
Delirium, where did Drew come from?
that's a good point. Drew, where are you from?
We have no
Drew,
idea.
tell us in the
You just,
comments.
you just showed up.
We just materialized at the
The
gig.
funniest part about this was that like there were stories about a bunch of people getting an Airbnb together right here in
Right.
Worcester,
Yeah.
right? Even though like the park is an hour away from here,
7 people and 3 rooms.
and one bathroom.
and a very loud snorer.
Who could be here through the
Drew.
walls? Yeah.
And Killatrix, where is Killatrix from?
Killtrix is my dude from Firewall, and he's from Virginia.
I had that. I was
Virginia.
thinking
Here we go.
Virginia.
He
and it was
drove
Southern- we're some
6
Southern
hours
boys.
Right?
that morning.
Amazing.
Wow, nice.
Amazing. I get to spend a lot of time with Killer Tricks. We rode, we were side by side for the Joker ride.
Nice.
So we were strapped in, getting flipped and over backwards together.
Nice.
Once we started that ride, I started laughing, and I don't know why.
It's the Joker. He makes you.
He's the Joker.
And he started laughing, and we laughed for the entire ride until it was over. And I was like, dude, I'm out of breath from laughing so
Yeah,
hard.
you're like Joaquin Phoenix in that movie or whatever. He can't stop. He just laughs. I haven't seen it yet. We're
awesome.
gonna see it later tonight. Actually, I think we're gonna see Joker.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess we gotta hurry.
Yeah.
Jeremy and Lisa, of course, they're from Worcester. Jeremy Sopa King.
From the channel.
And then so randomly somebody ran up to us and said, "Hey, I'm here with my family, but when I found out that you were here, I had to find you and come by and say hi." And I was like, and his name's that's Thwackett. So I mean, that was how random is that to just happen to be there the same time we
Yeah,
were
that's
and
crazy.
to be a fan of the channel. So it was cool to meet you, man. Like even if by a slight coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, so with a thing like this, you always wonder, you've met these people online, you don't know, and that's a lot of people, that's like 20-something people.
Right.
You got to wonder, is somebody going to suck?
Right.
Is somebody going to be like a real pain
You
in the
don't
ass?
think that, but
you wonder
usually
that. You worry.
think that
you meet a lot of
that's
people at
probably
once.
going to happen.
And especially just people from the internet, you don't know
Right.
much.
Somebody's
but
bound to be a pain in the ass, some irritating person.
In some way.
And strangely, as it turned out, it was me.
I thought it was me, honestly, but no, it didn't happen. Everyone was so cool. Like, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out, and I'm so glad I got to meet everybody, not just to put names to faces, but because I liked hanging out with all these people. It was a good conversation, and no matter which group you got kind of stranded in for a while,
Yeah.
it was always
I
fun.
felt bad
It
for
was a
my
good
group.
time.
I was like, you guys stuck with the worst member without parole. I'm like, AJ and Dave are way more fun to talk to. Jeremy is like the person you want to get stranded with.
Yeah.
Because he'll just talk for hours, and I mean, you
I
won't learn
seriously
anything.
did
but-
not want to let anyone go. I wanted to be
Yeah.
around everybody the whole time.
Yeah.
And it was pretty amazing. And something, really cool happened last night too, afterward.
Oh, yeah. That was very fun.
Dave wanted to, when we got back, we went to go check out this place that's across our hotel. And
It's like a tequila bar, kind of tacos place. It was
Run
pretty
by
late.
the company that I used to work for. I used to work at a place called Bocado, who did Spanish tapas restaurant, but their third restaurant they opened right after Bocado was called Mezcal.
Mezcal.
And he's sort of in the car. He said, "Oh, tell him Brian said hello." And I thought he was just joking. I wasn't.
I
gonna,
kinda was a little
I
bit,
wasn't
yeah.
gonna do it. I had no plans to do it, and we didn't exactly. But what happened, AJ?
So they were asking, like, what are you guys doing up here? And we always explain the same thing. Well, we're kind of doing like a YouTube thing, and
You should not. We're famous.
no, definitely not.
I always mention how many subscribers you have, though.
But yeah, so it was interesting. We just said that we are meeting a bunch of people that we've never met before, and it's part of a big meetup for a thing that we do. We have a passion for PlayStation VR, and we have the greatest community around it. So we wanted to do a meetup, and we ended up basically saying that they asked what was the name of the channel, and we said PSVR without parole.
No, actually, I want to amend this. That's not exactly what happened. We were about to say it, and then the girl behind the person we were talking to
Pops up
the bartender.
She
She said,
popped out of nowhere.
she was like, "Are you guys talking about Without Parole?
Yeah.
Is that Brian?"
Yeah.
We didn't even say the name of the channel.
Right.
Well, we had sort of. The guy was like, "What is it?" And we didn't really get it all the way through.
Right.
And then she just like eavesdropped, kind of overheard, and was like, "Is that what you guys are talking about?"
Right.
And
So
it was,
she ended up being like, "Oh my god, like Michelle is my best friend."
Yeah.
And we were like, "What?"
small world
And-
type crazy
and-
shit. Like,
yeah, and so they and then her boyfriend was also working the
Yeah.
bar as well. So we just like ended up hanging out with them for like 2 hours or something, maybe an
way
hour.
after they closed. Like they
Yeah.
were cleaning everything up, and they weren't like, "No, you don't have to leave.
Yeah,
Stick
they were
right
like,
here."
they were like, "Yeah,
come
you
on,
guys
hang
can come
out."
hang out for a little bit and stuff."
Yeah.
And they poured us some extra drinks and stuff.
Oh
and-
my god, the best
It
tequila I've ever had in my
Oh
life.
my god, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
he was mentioning it was a ceramic bottle, and it had like hand painted stuff, a date on it, a number on it, and he was like, the higher elevation that the guava plant has, the
Yeah,
more
agave.
sweet it is, and what is it?
Agave?
Agave.
Yeah.
Okay, a guava.
A guava plant. There's a guava plant up there on the top of the mountain.
There's so much to learn about tequila. I am infinitely knowledgeable about Spanish wine because of my job. But man, if you work at Mezcal for a week,
Right.
there's so much to learn about
Yeah.
tequila.
Yeah.
It's like just as intricate as any wine knowledge.
Yeah, I'm not a big drinker, so I just was like trying to learn once again. But it was
Last
amazing.
night we had a big amount of drinks though.
Yes,
we did,
and-
but they were like half free.
Right.
So
Well, and
shout out. thank you for that. That was
Yes,
an awesome time.
thank you to Ricky and Tim out there. And they just said, like,
They
you know...
get fired because somebody saw this.
No, he said he got a shift drink.
It
He
was
all good.
really
okay.
cool that that they just, you know, they said the sweetest things about Michelle, about you.
Oh, yeah.
And they just said, like, you know, they know how hard you work.
That can't be right.
And stuff.
No one says sweet things about me. Michelle, however, is stunned.
They said, Jeremy, I've never heard of that guy.
Yeah.
Des, I've never heard of that
and
guy.
that was weird. Like, it was
Yeah.
like they knew all this stuff, but then they didn't know Jeremy, and
Yeah.
it was like, whoa, like...
So Michelle and I, you know, briefly dated, and I became friends with her friends, and because we both work at the same company, you know, it's like that all kind of worked together. You know, Jeremy never worked with us, and Des, you know, only really hung out at Bocado and didn't
Right.
associate with the people outside of that. So it makes sense in context, but yeah, it is kind of strange. They're not terribly familiar with the channel. They just know it by name.
I don't know if you guys heard that siren, but it's time for an in-person
Sirens are on our end.
rock,
This
paper,
is,
scissors.
this is a long time coming.
All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Wait, but all three of us? at
Yeah,
the
same time.
Yes.
Ready?
Holy shit.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Got you!
Go to
Oh my God.
I've been waiting for this. Every single
man.
time
Did you get
they
slapped?
said, every single
Slapped.
time...
That's how we do it. Rock,
Can
paper,
I
scissors, slap.
do it?
That wasn't us. I didn't
okay,
hear
okay.
any contact.
Okay.
Okay. Don't knock the beer over. Thank you.
Okay,
knock the beer
so
over.
every single time on the Gamescast, which I don't really like doing it on Gamescast anymore because we're not actually there, but you guys kept saying, why do you choose paper every time? It was for this moment right now.
I'm a scissors guy. I always throw scissors first.
I did
I
paper
forget what the
every
other two
time,
are.
and I knew
I'm like
I'd
1,
set you
2,
up.
3, shit. I only think of scissors. I can't
Is it
think the
a
other
thumbs up or is it like a
If
this?
I love when they're like dynamite.
devil horns?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
actually look at this footage and just look at myself, being like,
I
I've got them.
These
Like
motherfuckers.
they are
Yeah.
done.
Got it.
That little smirk on his face.
Listen, here's the thing. This has been a long, fucking exhausting weekend.
Our bodies are broken.
Yes.
Our feet are destroyed.
We walked for hours and hours,
cannot.
like literally 8 hours straight, basically.
I'm
at Six
limping.
Flags.
I can't walk on
We
my
are
right
in
foot.
terrible shape right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in terrible shape before, but,
Yeah.
but because of that, we're in worse shape now.
Absolutely.
But seriously, you guys, like AJ and I have been working on the channel together, doing certain videos together, and like we talk on the phone pretty much every day. Dave, you've been. I mean, we've been talking since the beginning of PlayStation VR,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. When I started my channel, you hit me up and we
Yeah.
talked back then, and I
You
feel
were
like
even part of the channel, like doing.
yeah,
like,
briefly. He was
briefly.
posting my stuff, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I don't know this
Dave
guy,
was reluctant to say that he was like a part of this channel, and I was like, "No, you're very much part of this channel."
It's weird to like start putting labels on it, right? Because
Right.
it's like are you a part of the channel? It's like you're, as far as I'm
but do
concerned,
you
you're part
want
of
me?
without
Do you
parole.
want me
I
to be
think so,
part of
right?
the channel?
I think so.
And so, but we all do our own things, but we come together for the same reasons because we love PlayStation VR. And frequently when that happens, like, when you have people who are doing something because of the same thing, it's like everything outside of that kind of falls apart. You're like, oh, well, we're only friends because we do this.
Oh, I don't feel that way about us. Yeah.
And that's exactly it. I get to hang out with you guys. I get to meet you guys, and we get to hang out. And I feel like you're as good of friends as any of the friends I have. And if you guys lived around here, we'd hang out like constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of these days, Without Parole will be profitable, and maybe we can all get paid. And we
yeah.
can all, because people say that the one complaint people have of the channel is that they miss the old days, the Midnight Gamescast, everyone hanging out at the
sitting
same
in
table
yeah,
Right.
like this, because it seems like you're just hanging out with your friends.
Yeah.
And that's really my goal for the channel, is to one day have a studio where we can all like move to like that area for our job, which is this, and then we can all hang out around the table and have conversations for you guys every single day.
Just kind of funny the thing. Just kind of funny.
Kind
the
of
thing.
funny the fuck
Yeah.
out of it.
It'll be good.
We started kind of funny, and then we moved away from it, and now I want to move back
Yeah.
toward it.
That's definitely, it's a risk to take, of course, but that's my goal ultimately.
Yeah.
It's a leap of faith that I want to take, and because I get to do what I love, man, and I get to do it with the people I like being around and talking to on a daily basis, and it's just I've had a couple opportunities in the past, and I don't want to take that for granted again, and make sure I make the best of it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then at least I gave it my best shot. But
Yeah.
it's like. Just want to keep this thing growing as much as possible, and hope to eventually. I'll do whatever it takes in the meantime to just contribute, and just won't give up on it for any reason. Not without a fight, anyways.
but it's gonna require like you guys, like the
Right.
Patreon people,
I mean,
who
it's-
are awesome, but like to expand.
Yeah, we just need more of you. Like,
Yeah, just like-
you're all so
Right,
generous
yeah,
as it is. We
you
don't.
tell your friends
You
to
watching
do it
this are
too.
good.
Or like
Just-
up your pledge to
No,
like
no, no.
$50 a
Well,
month. No
hey,
big
hey,
deal.
hey,
Just
listen,
50
listen, listen.
Everybody's got
Listen.
$50, right?
Not everybody. I know I don't.
No,
I know. I'm just
certainly
playing.
don't.
I'm just
So,
playing.
but you know what? Before this year, I would have looked back at my life and gone, the best time of my life is, like 20 years ago or something, when I was drinking heavily and having drugs and having fun and being crazy and going to clubs and just having like amazing, like really blurry times.
Yeah.
Until this year of my life, and this year of my life has been by far the most amazing year of my entire life. And I never thought that like things could actually get better than they once were. In doing this and doing what I love and hanging out and making new friends and you guys actually the fact that you guys actually came up here to be part of this and the fact that all the Gamecats came together to like meet up and actually hang out is something I never thought would ever be a thing.
Right.
It was amazing. Like,
It
I
was.
could not believe. So after that first night, I was like, wow, that's a lot of people. And then we got to Six Flags, and I was like, oh, wait, there's more? There's more
More
people
people.
showing
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
And I got, like, almost anxious. I was like, Jesus Christ, like,
Yeah.
I got to meet all these new people. But everyone was so cool. And some people, like, Jeremy and Michelle, like, I've seen them on the show before, but, like, they felt like old friends the second I talked to them. It was
Right.
just, like, so easy. And they're such, everyone's so nice and really
First
great
time
to talk
meeting
to.
people, I've never like given somebody a hug so fast.
Oh,
Like, seeing-
yeah.
I saw Aceville. Somebody was like, "Did you see Aceville?" I was like, "Where's Aceville?"
Yeah.
And like, so I ran back, and like, I had never even seen what he looked like before.
No one had.
And I just immediately walked up, gave him the biggest hug, and I'm
Right.
like, "Aceville!" Like, it's so awesome, man.
And the flip side of it was kind of weird. I've never met people who already like know
You.
or us.
Yes,
and
yeah.
so like Aceville came up and I didn't have a chance to shake his hand because he was talking to other people. But then once he finished, he pointed over and he was like, "Oh man, it's Dave and Jeremy." And I was like, "It is. It's us." Shit. Which is such a crazy feeling, but no one was like weird about it. It was very cool.
Right.
Yeah. It like it kind of felt like this, like when Aceville, we were walking together for a little bit, and he said, "You don't understand, man. You're kind of like a celebrity to me." And I was like, "Yeah, you don't understand. You guys are all like friends to me."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the vibe that I felt for the entire day.
Definitely.
Just like hanging out with a bunch
Yeah.
of fucking old friends.
Definitely felt.
I mean,
like
that's how the
friends.
Discord is. That's how our community is, I think. And that's why it's so cool that we're
Right.
part of this, the whole thing.
Right.
And AJ is very cool because I was ogling his mug all night. I want to talk about this before we wrap it up.
Okay.
And I know this is messing with the green
No,
screen.
it'll be fine.
I'm just there's some options here. So this is a skull mug from Six Flags Fright Fest. And it was covered in goop. So AJ got a fancy...
The atmosphere at Fright Fest was really cool.
was,
I mean,
yeah.
it reminded me a lot of those horror movies where they show like a fair or something, and there's people running around screaming, having fun. There's people screaming from the roller coasters. There's fog in the air, and one of the things I got was that mug, and basically it was a pumpkin ale, and it had some kind of cinnamon goop around it, and I don't know. I was carrying it the whole night, and Dave seemed to really like it.
I love things that light up. I'm kind of like a 2-year-old. Like
he
if
mentioned that a few times.
Like a
it's-
candy raver.
if it's got LEDs and it flashes, it's got settings too, guys. Look at this. Boop, 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 boop.
And
It's
I
like
was
Christmas
like,
lights.
I would be more satisfied to give that to you than to have to like carry it everywhere.
Because they ran out of them too. Like
They did run out.
They didn't
He
have
did
any
try.
more, and I was disappointed because I was
But
like,
I was
want
like,
a light out.
I was like,
thing,
yeah,
that'd
like
be
he really likes it. And I would like the feeling of giving it to you was great. And
It's so
yeah.
nice, man. Thank you
Yeah,
for that. I mean,
anytime.
I know maybe you didn't even want it, but like I wanted it so much. So it was a nice gesture, and I'm gonna be drinking out of this for all of October. Anything I drink, I don't drink milk, but even if I was drinking milk, I put milk in it.
Right on.
Anything.
Yeah, Pop bought his crazy like Canadian things that he could only get up there. Brought us down his
candies, yeah, all
chips,
kinds of candies.
like these amazing
All
chips,
dressed,
the
all dressed,
coffee
All
crisps.
dressed.
Yeah.
Man, just sharing all the different things between everybody.
Oh,
Seeing
and a shout out to like all the mods who like basically chipped in together and bought me my ticket for Six Flags.
I
Alright.
still
Like,
need
that-
to pay
that was-
Rhodey for that.
Yeah,
I
I
still
do.
need to pay Rhodey for that.
That was my present for my 40th birthday. I did not want anything from anybody, but man, it was certainly an expensive weekend for everybody. So I appreciate the assistance and what a nice present. But the real present was everyone showing up and
Absolutely.
hanging out.
present was their presents.
The hope
Right.
is that next year it'll be even bigger. It'll be even more widespread. We'll get Madman from the UK. We'll get Nerf from Australia. We'll get people from all over the world, and we'll make sure it's once you get here, hopefully it'll be less expensive than this year.
cheaper will
Cheaper.
Yeah.
And maybe probably not Worcester or Boston located. We'll find a new location.
And probably not a theme park, because what we realized on the ground once we got there was like we all want to just hang out and talk and get to know
Right.
each other more. But it's
Something
like,
where you
I
won't
lost
get
you for an
divided.
hour and a half.
Right.
And
It would have
you
been
know,
just as much fun for us to have a picnic table where we could all hang out for like 3 hours and just shoot the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we'll figure out something. But as far as this year goes, as far as like V1, like our
That
10th
was
number
a
one,
huge success.
Resounding.
So much
success.
fun.
Yes.
Absolutely.
so thank you guys very, very much.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We're gonna go get hot dogs at Coney Island.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we're gonna watch a movie with Jeremy.
And then we're gonna go see Jeremy, and then man, it's I'm just gonna be so happy to hit stop on the camcorder because honestly, like we filmed all day,
Yeah.
right? Not only with this Litterbox episode is the end of it all, then we
3
got
Why We Loves.
3 episodes of Why We Love with various members of us.
Yes.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. They're going to be, I think they're all going to be like bonus episodes. I don't think any of them are going to take the place of an actual Jeremy and me episode.
Okay.
I think it's just going to be like tons of extra content on the channel, which is going to be really fun. And so you guys have a lot to look forward to. And I just want to say thank you all very, very much for being awesome Patreon supporters. We cannot do this without you. You are the only reason this is happening, and we love you all for it.
Bring it in.
We're doing the game.
Is this an 80s movie?
We do it. Yeah, there you go. And then what do we say?
I don't know what
Wait,
we
we say, hold on. We say without parole.
No, we say,
Yeah.
no, we just say meow.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Without parole.
Games?
You did it early.
Oh,
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Without
Without
parole.
parole. Games!
That was the stupidest thing I've ever done.
And I probably blew out the microphone because I shouted that
You
shit.
totally did.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Guys,
Hope
awesome.
you're not wearing
It was
headphones.
so cool doing this with you guys.
Yeah, this is so
Yeah.
fun.
Bye, guys. We love you all.
Love
Yeah.
you guys.
See you guys later.